Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lyds and we're back for some more Thronebreaker, and last time we made our way further through Yizgith, and at this point, there's not much left. In fact, there's a non-zero chance we might even make it all the way through and into the next area, depending on if there's anything over here, and if this is the last, or maybe just the second to last, of the various encounters in this area. We do theoretically, I believe, still have a key that remains unused, so I'm hoping they'll be able to track down that chest for which that key is used, wherever it may be. But I think we proceed onwards here. Back on neutral morale, so that certainly helps a bit. And we lost a whole bunch of resources in the previous video, only to regain a lot of them. All but, oh well, that may be the chest in question. All but, the units. The recruits. Those are still not doing so great right now, but okay. What do we have here? This does seem to be the locked chest in question. Dogger, the premium version. Okay, so Dogger is one of my favorite cards in multiplayer Gwent. Also, he's been amazing for us in Thronebreaker as well. But I still have not been able to sync Thronebreaker rewards with Gwent multiplayer rewards as of late. And this, as soon as that started happening to me, which was about midway through our playthrough, I immediately thought to Dogger and was saying to myself, man, if only I could at least get the premium for him. That's the one I want, more than any other. But alas, I don't know if I'll ever actually be able to use it, which makes me a little bit sad. But we do in fact have something at what seemed to have been a cave that we saw before, and didn't have an icon there before, but now we know it's a puzzle. So let's see what this is all about then, shall we? Surely nothing could go wrong here. I mean, it is a puzzle. It's also the Northern Realms theme. Wait, what? Best Boys Adventure? I mean, seemingly everybody has had, every one of our main characters that have joined us along the way have had some fairly significant plot-related quests, or at least decisions that we had to make. Best Boy being really the one exception to that, so I'm excited. I'm excited. Best Boy is, by and large, a polite dog who heals, shakes paws, and on good days, even sits when instructed to do so, especially when his ears are given a good scratching beforehand. One day, however, Best Boy strayed from the Lyrian retinue, lured by an appetizing scent. The wafting aroma led him to a cavern from which not a single light escaped. To enter, or not? He pondered it for a moment, licking his snout and tilting his head, as dogs do. In the end, he decided that the world belongs to the brave. He then let out 2 quick barks and leapt into the dark. Alright, so help him reach the end of the cave without turning back and collecting all soup and wine along the way. Use our leader ability. It is a puzzle. Special rules, just 1 round, custom deck, so in theory, this is all just a matter of figuring out how this thing works, and it sounds like it's going to be very unique, this puzzle right here. So I'm looking forward to it. Alright, I'm immediately thinking to that one back in Mahakam where we had to sneak through the halls and avoid guards along the way. Oh, that's a lot of skulls. Okay, so help him reach the end of the cave without turning back and collecting all soup and wine along the way. Grammatically, that doesn't make perfect sense, but we'll stick with it. Okay. Whoa. Gascon is our leader, not Meve, okay. With 50 charges, move him to an adjacent vertical or horizontal position. So yes, we can have him move very similarly to how we were moving in that previous Mahakam encounter. It looks very similar to that. So we need to collect all the soup. What do we need? Soup and wine. Where's the wine? Oh, over there. I was like, do we need to get all of these? Hopefully not. So do we play him somewhere? I assume these guys are going to move toward us. Every turn, I assume they can move 1 position as well. And can they only move in the direction that they are facing, or that's probably reading into it too much? It's like, I want to immediately get this, which probably doesn't work. Wait, is there only one spot we can let you? Also, now you're not okay, well, now we're stuck. No? You forced me to start. I guess this is the entrance of the cave. Alright, fair enough. The fact that this is right next to us makes me feel as though that's not a good thing. Yeah, let's just see how this works. Like, this guy you would think would immediately get us? What? Does every step that we take, every move we make, they'll be watching us? No. Dude, can we... There's always a shadow that replaces the place that we went to previously, which explains the whole... What was the description? Without turning back. Which, at the time, just felt like a... Okay, I mean, don't really know what that means type of thing. But that is how it gets enforced. Is by having a shadow spawn behind us every time. So basically, they might not move. It might just be a simple, basically, find a way through the maze type of situation. In which case, I think we can just plot out our course right now. So if we go here, here... We need all the soup. We don't necessarily need to get all the bones. If we do this, this... Ooh, that's tricky. This circular area here is tricky. So what if we go here, here, here? What if we finish on that? We go here, 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 here. I think that works. Assuming that we have it correct, that's the way that the movement works. And these guys don't move with us. Okay, now am I going to remember that course that I just plotted? Probably not, but I'm pretty sure that we had it there. Alright, so don't go for this one yet. Right? I think we said that was going to be the last one. So you go down for this one. You go down, or right to this one. Down to this one. Then you go here. You go here. And we just loop around. We're gonna hit this one, then this one, and finish on that. And since we don't need to worry about the stale bones, it's okay if we don't use all those. I think it's basically just a maze in that way. Certainly seems like it. As long as we don't need to finish on the wine. Okay, apparently we need to finish on the wine. Never mind. Did it say anywhere that we absolutely had to finish on the wine? Did it say that explicitly? Okay, hold on. It did not say that we needed to finish on the wine. Now, is this technically supposed to be the last spot because it's in the opposite corner from where we began? Yeah, I mean, but if you say, if we have to finish with the wine, tell me we have to finish with the wine, because we did have a system that was going to work until you had a rule that you didn't tell me about. So, okay. Now we know how this works, though. So, we can go here. So we're going to end on that, but that's not really something that works anymore. So we're going to have to use... I mean, it may be that you actually do need to use all the stale bones in that case. It was a little bit odd that we could skip so many of them before if our previous system was to work. But if we go here, this is really the first actual decision that we have. So I think that you have to take this, right? So otherwise you have no ways to circle back to it. So you go there, you go there, you go there. Then you're probably fine, because then you just go here, 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 here. Okay, that works. Okay, once again, more so just a question of, am I going to remember that? Hopefully there aren't additional hidden rules that were not disclosed at the onset that we have not accounted for here. Okay, so then this is the first soup we're going for over here, right? That's what we just said. I'm pretty sure. Do that. then it's here, then you go back up. Otherwise, you would get trapped. And you're going to use this avenue to go down. Not going to ever have to use that stale bones, so ignore it. That one. Then this one. Then this one. Then down. Then all the way to the right, then all the way up, and we should be good here. Don't think we missed any of them, and this does mean we'll finish on the wine. So, I mean, truth be told, not that difficult. It's basically just a maze, which because there's no time limit, and there's nothing changing as you go through, it's not that tough to just map it out. The bigger question is just, well, we were not told all the rules at the beginning. But once we knew them, it wasn't so bad. Huh? Huh? What? Did anything happen from having completed that? Because I saw there was a brief little picture of Meve broadsword, which is of course one of the leader abilities that we already had, but those types of things usually pop up during loading screens, so I didn't really read into that at all. I assumed that was just a passing little thing, and I don't think that it had actual text of significance, but I didn't see any rewards. I was kind of expecting for us to now be able to walk in and get some loot since there wasn't anything here. Seemingly. Did we get anything at all from that? What the heck? Now I'm confused. Alright. Well, in that case, I assume that we got whatever it is there was to get. And now that leaves us with what might be the final encounter, or at least in other locations, oftentimes it would at least say this is the point of no return. Sometimes that didn't actually mean it was the very last quest, it just meant that, well, you couldn't go back. And the odd thing, which is one of the reasons why I was saying earlier how I was expecting Gwent to be the final encounter, was because usually the final encounter has been a pretty big deal in other locations, in just about every case, if not every single case. So since everything was building up to Gwent, I thought it was going to be Gwent. Now that we've met and defeated Gwent, and we've kind of reached a little bit of a small lull, it makes me wonder, you know, what is this going to be? It's presumably going to be Nilfgaard, but it's actually been a little while since we last heard from them, so that's a little bit odd in that way. So there's going to have to be a little bit of setup, I suppose, before we get whatever payoff it might be. But assuming that is the point of no return, then that probably means we want to visit this shrine first. I mean, technically, if it is the point of return, it should give us a warning first. So maybe we still head over there just to be 100% certain. Oh. I'm very surprised to see a notice board right now. Huh? Okay, I mean, I guess we could have gone to that previously and learned more definitively of all the things that we've already done. But it's not terribly useful at the moment.
In evading Nilfgaard's banners, Meve led her force into Angren's
no warning. We're just heading straight out.
The foe could not attack the Lyrians there, yet hazards of another sort befell them. One day, they reached a quagmire too vast and deep to ford. So the queen summoned her engineer, Xavier, and called on him to build a makeshift bridge. By nightfall, he had drawn up plans.
We shall start by laying abutments, then drive piles into the mire.
The depth?
We dropped plumb lines. 4 L's.
Consumed by the plans, Meve did not see as Xavier slipped a line off his shoulder. By the time she felt it on her throat, she feared it might be too late.
Xavier's trying to kill us? What the heck?
I long awaited this moment, when we would be alone.
Are you serious, Xavier?
You die now, Majesty, and with you dies Lyria's, Rivia's, the whole North's will to resist. Hail, Ketzer, hail!
Somebody, help us out!
What died was the Nilfgaardian rallying cry in Xavier's throat. At the last instant, Gascon and Reynard rushed in to save the warrior queen.
Hey.
Thus proved their loyalty beyond any doubt.
Okay.
Your Grace.
I wonder what happens if you didn't trust them way back at the beginning of
There was no
Valgrind.
answer, but Reynard could hear her breathe. Meve would live.
Does Meve die if you don't?
It was several
Save
hours
one or
later when
trust
Meve
one or both of them?
finally came to. She opened her eyes, then Gascon and Reynard helped her to her feet.
Also, what the heck, Xavier? We saved him when we first met him, or at least it seemed like he was in some kind of desperate situation. He was technically the only survivor of his village that had been attacked by the Nilfgaardians. Now, is that because he was actually someone who made some kind of agreement with the Nilfgaardians to be a spy / agent for them? Perhaps. But the odd thing is that it's been so long that we've had Xavier with us, and he's had, you would think, many opportunities to betray us thus far, so he was very patient. And there was a time, at the beginning of Valgrind probably, when there were all those suspicions flying around of, well, I don't know, it looks like Reynard might have betrayed us. It looks like Gascon might have betrayed us. Are you a spy? Are you a spy? Is everyone a spy? And we legitimately went down our entire group, person by person, and said, do we think it's you? It might be. You? Maybe. You? Possibly. I can't remember what we said specifically of Gascon, but I imagine that he was probably not very high on our list of suspicious squad mates. But, alright. Alright, apparently, he was, with the Nilfgaardians all along. So we lose Xavier. So I assume then that is inevitable, like there's no way to avoid that? I don't know if there's any point in time where there was some way in which we could have either earned Xavier's trust to a greater extent, or done something that, I mean, yeah, something along those lines, I guess. Or revealed him earlier to have been a spy. I don't know, I guess either way, he's gonna, either now, or if you accuse him earlier for whatever reason, which I'm not even sure if that is a thing, if there was any opportunity to do that, then he would still be leaving either way. So yeah, like, earn his trust, or yeah, just like win him over in some way, or convince him that Nilfgaard is not that's the side to be teaming up with.
Careful, Your Majesty.
And yes, this does certainly mean we can, you would think that at this point we can more comfortably place any and all trust we need to in Reynard and Gascon. So yeah, I am curious what would happen if you didn't, I mean, if you have both of them, as we just saw, obviously they'll save Meve. If you have one of them, does Meve still live? If you do not have either of them, does Meve just die this early? I mean, we're getting fairly far along in the game, but it would seem, I don't even, is it just game over? I don't know.
I should have been more careful earlier. Damn it. If you two hadn't...
No need for words. You needn't mention it.
I couldn't disagree more. We're due for a long conversation.
The absolute bros.
First of all, I owe you thanks. Second, my trust in you both has been heavily tarnished. I believe that goes without saying.
Previously, yes. At the beginning of Valgrind, absolutely. But after this, I think they have found probably the single most effective way to redeem themselves.
Yet today you proved beyond all doubt that I can rely on you. So I thank you.
Exactly.
To serve under your banner, Majesty, it is an honor.
Oh, and look at this. They've been upgraded. Reynard Auto Plus.
Likely I'd have put it differently, but Reynard seems to have the right idea.
What about Gascon?
Very well. We've reassured ourselves of admiration for one another enough.
Not Gascon, just Reynard. Only Reynard? Okay. It's a little odd, given how it was both of them who were there to save us, and is Reynard getting all the credit? None for Gascon? I'm sorry, Gascon.
We've matters to which we must attend.
Oh, he might already be plus.
I trust as I lay there dead to the world, you did not sit about with your thumbs up your bums. Have you at least learned why Xavier betrayed us, sided with the Empire?
I would be eager to learn.
In a manner of speaking, yes.
Oh?
Your Grace, the rogue who lunged at you, in truth, was one Gwent ep Luinoch, a Nilfgaardian spy.
Okay. So was Xavier not really his name, or did we have Xavier initially and then he actually got killed or captured and some spy took his place? Okay, so this progresses the actual conversation with the main further along, whereas these are actual side conversations that can add and give us extra context. So if we want to learn everything, we should go for these. So yeah, how did you determine that?
This discovery you made how?
We found in his toolbox a concealed compartment, letters inside. Though encrypted, we managed to decipher them. They were the Grey Rider for you to read.
Okay.
The swine. An Imperial spy in my ranks this whole time. But to wait so long to strike, why?
That's one of the things that surprises me most, is it feels like surely there were other times. I mean, he's kind of sort of saved us on at least one or two prior occasions. I'm thinking of back at Mahakam. I think that's why we were not very suspicious of him at the beginning of Angren. When we were in Mahakam, there was, I forget exactly what the circumstances were, but we were on a bridge that was collapsing, and if not for Xavier, then we would have fallen and been grievously injured, if not killed. And so we thought that, I mean, if he was with Nilfgaard, then surely he would have just let us get hurt or killed on that occasion and would have no reason to have helped us at all. So why did he wait as long as he did when, if he wanted to kill us, he would have had other opportunities earlier?
He'd only just received the order. Another letter in the box, signed by General Eb Dahi, stated, "To Gwent ep Luinoch, eliminate M at first opportunity."
And then why did he wait so long? You would have thought if he was a spy, then he would have... If he was working for Nilfgaard, and he had an opportunity to kill the leader of his enemy, Nilfgaard's enemy, then surely he would have taken that opportunity, even if it wasn't necessarily something that was directly requested for him to do.
Honourless bastards. They'll stop at nought.
Now, Meve, you'll gain nought by getting riled. No sense to it. This is good news, in fact.
Well, we got rid of a spy, yes. The fact that Meve nearly died, that much is still probably not good.
Is that so?
Think. Ep Dahi had a spy in our midst. He knew our movements, had his eye on us, his finger on the pulse. He knew our plans, who we parlayed with, and yet he didn't order your assassination. For you posed no threat.
That is weird, and that is kind of what I was just saying before. You would have thought that Dahi would have ordered the assassination earlier. So, Gascon, are you meaning to imply that now that he did order the assassination, is to suggest that only now does he see us as a threat, and so he respects us more now than he did before? And, I mean, that's still not a very big deal.
Well,
I don't know.
Clearly so much changed. Congratulations. Nilfgaard fears you now.
I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, not really sure how much of a difference that makes, but sure.
And rightly so.
Okay. So that's how we learned of how Xavier got that order. His name technically wasn't Xavier after all, but right, he saved... Okay, yes, so this is what I was referring to, exactly. Why did he save our life in Mahakam? Because he technically didn't have the order to kill us yet, but surely, given how he had this opportunity, and, you know, he would have had to have been a little spontaneous and just just embrace the moment, embrace the opportunity, and would he have gone down with us? I can't remember exactly what the specifics were, but granted, he probably would have.
Just a moment, that makes no sense. He saved my life in Mahakam, on the bridge.
He did, for he had to.
Hmm? Why?
In one of the letters we found, Ebdahi orders Gwalter to watch over Elder-in-Chief Hoog.
What?
The Scoia'tael in the mountains was sent there by Nilfgaard to recruit dwarves, but their commander, the Vixen, they feared she'd attack Bruva himself, something Ebdahi wished to avoid.
And somehow Xavier was going to have the authority and the power and the leadership to prevent that from happening? Somehow I doubt that.
Naturally. For someone else could seize power, someone not so neutrally inclined. Someone more likely to aid me, gods forbid.
I mean, I see what you're saying. I just don't think that even if Xavier was technically a spy, I still don't think he really had it in him to pull that off. That feels like that would have been very ambitious. Or it would have taken a lot of skill that I'm not sure that Xavier would have had to make that happen. Okay, what about his horrible scar? Was that, I mean, I guess it's not critically important. I mean, we kind of assumed that he was truly a burn victim of that local village that got burned down in, not Ongren, now I'm blanking out of the name, Demvin's place. And now I'm thinking of all the other Northern Realms that are not the one place that you know what I mean. Edirn. So presumably he was not actually Edirnian at all. And so that was fake. That was a farce. And so that means that they just planted him there, and the scar, maybe it's just coincidence that he had that to begin with, and made for a good excuse? Or, I mean, did they actually give him that scar to make it more likely that we show mercy on him? I don't know.
But we found him in the rubble at Rosberg, midst the ashes.
Precisely what placed him beyond suspicion.
Sorta, yeah.
We suspect Gwalter enlisted with the Edanians some years past, infiltrated that army.
He had a hand in Rosberg's defense. Then, when the time was right, he lent that same hand to its demise. Caused an explosion that tore a hole through its walls. It worked, but at a price. He suffered severe burns.
Okay, so that was...
For our medics, he'd have...
Yeah, maybe it wouldn't have been the worst thing if our medics had not helped him after all, I suppose. I mean, he did help us for other much more minor things along the way as well. But, what else? I guess... So that means he did not originally have those burns, or at least did not have them at the time that he joined the Edirnians. Basically helped the Edirnians, but also knew a specific way in which he could set up a weakness for the Nilfgaardians to exploit. So, blew an explosion in the wall at Rosberg, which was supposed to be the way for the Nilfgaardians to more easily take that place by force. However, accidentally hurt himself in the process and had the bad burns on his face. But that was, I guess, actually a coincidence. And then the Nilfgaardians just ran with that coincidence and used it as Gascon was saying, a way for us to, hope, in their eyes, hopefully show mercy and let down our guard and not be suspicious of him.
Stop. So it was not elves who brought about the fort's fall as he claimed?
Oh, he claimed it was elves?
A filthy lie to stoke the fires of racial hatred, to stir conflict and chaos and rage that would make the realm of Edirn waver and fall.
If we're to judge by Rayla's actions, he was rather successful.
Interesting. Okay, also, metagaming a little bit. So I knew that Isbel was of Nilfgaardian descent because in multiplayer Gwent, she's a Nilfgaardian card. So when she had her somewhat dramatic reveal in Thronebreaker, it was not that big of a deal to me because I already knew. But I'm surprised for Xavier because he is neutral in multiplayer Gwent, and at least in Thronebreaker, he certainly seems to have stronger ties to Nilfgaard than Isbel does. Unless Isbel is going to stab us in the back as well. So, I don't know. That's a little bit odd. If anything, I would have thought those two would be swapped and Xavier would be Nilfgaardian in multiplayer Gwent and Isbel would be the neutral, but who knows?
Bastard. Yet even so badly hurt, in such pain, not for a moment did he drop his mama's act.
Yeah.
I've heard much of Nilfgaardian spies, Your Grace. They're trained from childhood, face constant indoctrination. They do anything for the Emperor, anything and everything. As soon as Gwalter spotted a chance to join our ranks, to be at your side, he took it, exploited it ably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, I still think that there's a bit of a odd plot hole here, and in general, Thronebreaker has been really well written and does not have many of those, but I think Mahakam, in general, if I recall correctly, was perhaps one of those instances where those popped up a little more often. But yeah, like, seems like a big stretch that the reason why Xavier/Gwalter did not kill Meve when he had an opportunity in Mahakam was because he had to be there to maintain order with the leaders of Mahakam and some elven leader as well. Like, who is he to do that? He's some spy to Nilfgaard, but surely he's not telling them that. And, okay, is he just, in that case, speaking to them as an engineer who has happened to come along with us? In which case, what authority does he have over them, and what power does he have to steady those two sides so that they don't get into a fight? So that seems really weird. Okay. Traitors all around, unfortunately. Some of whom, as we were saying, have redeemed themselves. Others who have not.
To be brief, I've traitors all about me.
Your Grace, you resent our actions, I understand, but...
You, Willem, the Cad Caldwell, Gascon, Gabor, finally Xavier.
Yeah, that's a pretty long list. I'm trying to remember, like, obviously, Willem was very obvious, as was Caldwell. You were just sending letters back and forth with Willem, right? Which was certainly eyebrow-raising, but you seemed to just be, coordinating with... Coordinating is maybe a strong word, but... I mean, in some ways, Willem is kind of, sort of, your ruler, or at least that was sort of the way in which it seemed as though Reynard was treating it, and so he was kind of, both Willem and Meve, he was sort of trying to be nice to both of them simultaneously, which did raise some suspicion. And then Gascon, I forget exactly what it was that he did with the Nilfgaardians. Again, beginning of Alngren, learned about both of those two doing some stuff with Nilfgaard at about the same time. Gabor, I also kind of forget at this point. I remember it was at the end of Mahakam when that happened, and we had a choice of either saying, no, we don't trust you anymore, and having him leave, or saying, alright, we'll give you a second chance and he can stick with us. Obviously, Xavier, we now know for sure what that was all about.
Tell me how. How am I to trust anyone?
You can't.
Alright, simple as that.
Amongst all the realms in the north, you're Nilfgaard's sole rival. One remaining threat. All other rulers either soundly defeated and enchained, or tails between their legs, they've donned Nilfgaard's leash.
Is that really... Is everyone else either locked up or taking sides with Nilfgaard? Are we really the only ones?
The Blackclads will do all to destroy you, if not upon the field, then in secret, with an assassin and a quick, sharp blade.
Or rope to strangle us, in this case.
What's left? Prayer. Melitele too is sure to turn and take Nilfgaardian gold sooner or later.
Hopefully not. Okay, well, time we moved on, I suppose.
We've talked enough. We must form up. Move on.
And is this technically the last encounter in Alngren? Or are we going to have an actual battle or something like that to wrap things up? I mean... Be hard to top this, I suppose, so I kind of doubt it at this point.
Majesty, you ought to rest. You stand swaying. Your step can't be too sure.
Only my horse needs step true.
Meve, you've just about had the life choked out of you. No time to play the hero.
But it might inspire our troops.
I'm not Gascon. Quite the opposite, actually. These damn swamps, they terrify me. I wish to get the hell out and never, ever look back.
That is true. Getting out of Yizgith and getting as far away as possible from it is probably not a bad idea.
The Aruga lies near. I sent scouts ahead. They've secured a barge. We can sail to Red Lobendon.
Red Lobendon. Okay, now that's a Witcher 2 location.
Splendid. Sound the horns. We march.
In fact, that is specifically where in Ongren we were in The Witcher 2, right? I don't remember if we're ever actually just in Ongren in general, or if it is specifically Red Lobendon within Ongren. It's been a while. I don't remember. Huh. Okay, I mean, we are technically still here, which means there is technically still one more encounter over there, which means I guess, out of curiosity, did that change our morale at all? No. Do we have any new reports? We do. Orders for Xavier. Translation from Nilfgaardian. Gwalter Ape Linnog. From Dahi. Eliminate Meve at the first opportunity. She has ceased to be useful, and it is time to put the Lyrian guerrillas to sleep. Ceased to be useful. That's an interesting way of phrasing it, implying that we are doing something that was helping them out at one point in time, which had them holding back a little bit, though not really sure how much to read into that in truth. Before they present a true danger to the Empire. Once you've carried out your orders, go to the Rivia Palace dressed as a beggar. There, you shall receive further instructions. Now, Rivia, I am guessing there's going to be one more location. It might be Red two more locations. Next one, Red Lobendon, perhaps, although I was expecting Temeria. And then maybe after that, I'm expecting for us to finish in Rivia. And maybe there's 3 more spots. Red Lobendon, Temeria, and Rivia. But we're definitely finishing in Rivia, since we are Queen of Lyria and Rivia. We started in Lyria, and if we're trying to gather some troops, gather an army to fight the Nilfgaardians back, then we're either going to come back to Lyria, which I kind of doubt, or Rivia, the other place that we are supposed to control, but have ceded to the Nilfgaardians. So is this going to be an actual thing that happens in Rivia? When we probably eventually get back there? Alright, let's quickly, before we forget, let's at least pick up this right here. I'm not really sure there's going to be any other actual encounters for us to go through, but in case we are truly about to leave, then we might as well take this last opportunity, get ourselves on higher morale. And then, is there anything else? I mean, I guess technically we could have stepped slightly further forward to see if there's anything else before that final encounter there, but as I said, kind of seemed like after that surprise assassination attempt. Is this the bridge in question that we're trying to get Xavier to build? Well, it is built, but after that surprise assassination attempt, I mean, what else can we conclude on in this area that would be more dramatic than that? I can't think of anything, and I was curious after we had already taken out Gurnikora, but alright, fair enough. Apparently, the most dangerous of encounters in this area was actually with someone who was in our side all along. But with that being said, this is probably a good place for us to wrap up here, and next time we will head over into, I would assume, whatever the next location is, which sounds like it might be Red Lobendon, or maybe it's Temeria, or maybe it's somewhere entirely different. But either way, I'll catch you next time. So, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you then.